So last night, the Penguin TV series premiered, and damn, bro, damn. This show, so far, has been perfect. Perfect. Like, it was an hour-long episode, and it was perfect from start to finish. There was nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Each and every character was written very well, the story was handled extremely well, and the cinematography was beautiful, and I'm just jaw-dropped how amazing this is. So let's get into it and review it for you guys. So I want to start off this review by saying that I really like the beginning of this episode because we got to see Carmine Falcone's son and his relationship with the Penguin, and then after Carmine Falcone's son wrongs the Penguin just pulls up a gun and freaking lights him up, and that was shocking. I was like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I thought this guy was gonna be the main antagonist of the series. I thought he was gonna be a problem. No, Penguin just took care of him in 4 seconds, but that was a jaw-dropping thing that I really enjoyed about this episode. And the entire scene where the Penguin is getting his car stolen or parts of his car taken off and stolen, he just pulls up a gun and just fires off at a bunch of kids, and he ends up meeting his accomplice, or in other words his sidekick, and that character was really handled well. I really liked his character throughout the episode, and it was just very, very interesting to see his relationship with the Penguin kind of go from oh, I'm so afraid that I'm gonna die with this guy, to alright, I could trust him, but that story was just handled very, very well. So I also really want to talk about the character of the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, greatly, by the way. This guy really does the Penguin well, and honestly, he is better of a Penguin than the Penguin we got in Michael Keaton's The Batman. I was gonna refer to a bunch of other Penguins, but there's only been one other one. But he really plays the role well, and I honestly was I don't think this character could really carry a show, but no, I was extremely wrong. He could definitely carry an entire show. I really hope this show goes on to have maybe 5-6 seasons, because that's just how good this first episode sets up the entire story for the show. And I really do hope that they take advantage of this great show and have there be 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, 5 seasons, maybe 6 seasons. I'm on board with every season that they announce, and I really hope this is not a limited series, because it is too well done. But this honestly is one of the best portrayals for any DC and Marvel character ever. Colin Farrell really does an amazing job as the Penguin. So now I want to talk about the character of Sophia in the Penguin. Now, this character, being the main antagonist of the series, is played perfectly. She is a very suspenseful character. She's testing the Penguin's patience. He's trying to hide the death of her brother, and she's just not having it, and she's yo, where is he? And he's giving out, bro, if you wanna hide a dead person, then just be cool, instead of I don't know, don't have a freaking heart attack, Penguin. You have to be anonymous. You gotta be cold, you can't give in. But anything she did, I thought honestly something was gonna happen, and maybe she'd pull out a gun somewhere and shoot somebody, which she did at one point in the episode, and she even tortured the Penguin and almost cut his arm off. But everything she does is very suspenseful, and the actress played her emotional breakdown when she saw her brother's dead body perfectly, and just everything about her character, man, was really, really well done. So now I want to talk a little bit about the character of Salvatore, played by Clancy Brown. Yes, the voice of Mr. Krabs. This guy's been everywhere recently. He was in John Wick Chapter 4, he was in a few other projects as well, but he was an unexpected surprise in this show. I did not know he was going to be in here, but his character was really well, the little we got of him, and Penguin goes to visit him and tells him that he now owns the Empire and stuff, and he gives him this ring, and he just jumps in and freaking grabs the ring, give me that. It was crazy, and he immediately puts it on, and where'd you get this? And Penguin's I have my ways. Yeah, the Penguin has his ways. But, yeah, it was an unexpected joy to see him in the show, and I really do hope we get to see more of him in the future. But for now, that's all we got of him. But the little we got of him moved his character a little far, because we kind of, like, learn a bunch about this character, and I'm really excited to see what they do with him in the future, and I hope we get an explanation of why he's in prison. I really do, because that would be an interesting story. So now I want to talk a little bit about the character of Victor. Now, this character went a long way throughout one episode. 1 hour long episode. He went from like fearing the Penguin, being like all nervous and quiet, to then being open and helping the Penguin do a plan to deal with Alberto's body. But like he went from fearing the Penguin to then like respecting him and not fearing him and being his accomplice and sidekick. And that was just an interesting story arc they had him go down throughout 1 hour. Like, a lot happened in this 1 hour episode. A lot. Especially with this character. You know, and I was all for it, man. This guy is turning to be one of my favorite characters in the show so far. Besides, of course, the Penguin. And he's very, very enjoyable to see on screen. And he mixes very well with the rest of the cast and is just perfect in the role. So now I want to talk about the character of the Penguin himself. Played, like I said, greatly by Colin Farrell. This character, man, like, I thought he was pretty good in the Batman, and like thinking he couldn't carry a show on his own, but boy was I wrong. He carried this show. Like, he really was great in this role, and nobody could do better, I don't think. This role is now his, and his alone, and it should never, ever get like a new Penguin. If this actor dies, the character dies. Honestly, there should never be a different Penguin. This guy does everything so perfectly, man. I cannot stress it enough. I love this character, and I love how he's portrayed. And like, I love his friendship with the young kid, you know? I love it. It's perfect. And honestly, it does rank upon my top 100 favorite characters of all time. Yeah, that's how much I loved his performance. Okay, so now I want to talk about one of my favorite parts of this episode, the cinematography. The cinematography in this show is the most beautiful I've ever seen in any show or movie, and that says a lot, because I've seen billions of TV shows and movies over my lifetime, and I've never seen better cinematography. It is beautiful. Like, honestly, like, just the camera work, the lighting is perfect, and they make this town as gritty and as perfect as possible. And like, when we're like seeing how the town is after what the Riddler did, it's just all very, very well done and beautiful. Another thing I really, really enjoyed about this series is the fact that it picks up right after the Batman. Like, seriously, right after the Batman. The city is still flooded, the mayor is recovering from her gunshot wound from the Batman, and it is just all so perfect. And you still see Falcone's dead body, like, with a bag over it, you know, like, it picks up exactly where it left off, and props to them for doing that. No time jump, I love it. And if there was a time jump, it was like a few days at most, but it was just perfect how they perfectly, like, eased us back into this universe. Okay, so now that all that is out of the way, I want to give you my final verdict. Overall, so far, it is a 10 out of 10, easily. I cannot wait for the future episodes, which will be for the next 7 weeks. There's going to be 8 episodes in total, and honestly, I'm very happy they're not going for 6, because I thought they were going to go for 6, but 8 seems more realistic and also better now that this episode has come out and we've gotten a taste of how amazing this show is really gonna be. And I honestly did not expect this to be bad. I did not at all. I knew it was gonna be a freaking masterpiece, because the Batman movie was a masterpiece. It was really, really well done, and so was this show. 10 out of 10 overall. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later.